Hi, my name's Amanda Cooper and I'm your tutor on this short course. It is a course for absolute beginners, first time chicken keepers, so welcome. Key considerations before you go off and buy your lovely new chickens and their lovely chicken coop. Think about the time that's required in order to look after them properly. So I guess you're probably looking at around 5 or 10 minutes in the morning and again about 5 or 10 minutes in the evening on a daily basis. So this would involve opening up the chicken hatch to let the chickens out in the morning, and at night it's very important that the chicken coop is secure and closed and locked down to avoid the fox. Okay, now the chicken coop area, if you have free range chickens, i.e. running around in your garden, that's great, but the chickens do need to be put away at night. Their house must be closed. The chickens actually will put themselves away, they'll go to bed at the time they choose. There's generally one chicken that decides when it's bedtime, and that one will go into the coop first, and then the others will follow. Okay, so other things to consider. Yes, if you have got a chicken coop and a run that's attached to your chicken coop and you don't intend to let your chickens out and roaming in the garden, then if you actually make the chicken run fox proof, so it would have to have a roof fenced in with small holes for fencing, and you would have to actually bury the fencing for under the ground for around about 12 inches, so 1 foot down, so that the fox can't dig through. And then you would be able to leave the chickens to come and go as they please. Okay, other things to consider then, so they have to be put away at the night time, let out in the morning. They need food and water every day. The water probably might need to be changed on a daily basis, but if you get a proper water feeding water system, then you just need to check to make sure that the chickens haven't actually made a mess in there, because they do tend to do that. They're not actually toilet trained, so just check that the water is clean, because chickens won't drink dirty or contaminated water. Check the food is adequate. Again, you can buy a decent sized food hopper, so this might only need filling up once a week, but the food needs to be kept in the dry part of the coop. It's no good having rain coming onto it. Okay, now so what else have you got to do? Well, you'll have to collect the eggs. Now on a daily basis, after collecting the eggs, you may want to have a quick scoop round to collect any chicken mess that may have occurred during the night inside the coop. But generally on a weekly basis, that's when you change the bedding and clean them out, just like with any other small animals, rabbits, guinea pigs, that's what you have to do. Okay, think about when you're going on holiday. Have you got somebody to actually come and look after them? If you've got an integral run and it's secure from the fox and connected to the chicken house, then they can be left for up to 2 days, making sure you leave plenty of food and water. But you can't actually leave them for any longer than this. And of course, unlike cats and dogs, they can't go to the cattery or the kennel. So you're going to have somebody to come around to the house to look after them. And really, I guess on a kind of daily basis, time-wise, those are the considerations. I would say that also, if you're going to get a cockerel, they are very pretty, very beautiful to look at, and it's quite nice hearing the cockerel crowing in the morning. However, they don't just crow during the morning, they actually crow 24 hours a day. So if you happen to wake up at 3 in the morning, you'll probably hear the cockerel crowing, even from inside of his house. Okay, so think about that. You don't want any complaints from the neighbours from noise, and it can be quite irritating for your family too, especially if you've got young children and it's waking them up in the night. However, generally, if you just have hens, there is really no noise to speak of. Okay, just a little bit of excited clucking noise when they see you coming into the garden, because they know they're going to get something, hopefully like a nice treat, a bit of corn or some scraps that you may have left over. Okay, so I would say that chickens are very, very easy to keep. The biggest thing about them is putting them, or closing and securing the hatch at night and letting them out in the morning. Thinking about the situation where the coop will be too, because if it is a very boggy, wet, damp garden, you will soon see how churned up that's going to get, and it can be quite off-putting in the middle of winter when it's absolutely pouring with rain, howling a gale, and you have to go out and let those chickens out. Okay, but if you still quite fancy the idea, then that's fantastic. Those are really just the main considerations. Thank you.